It is still so cold outside, so why not warm up with a bowl of soup? Charmian Christie is back. I say warm up with a bowl of soup, but the soup you're making today could actually be served room temperature.
It could be. Actually, what I'm doing is I'm going to be making a curry today, which is very soupy because it's Thai.
Right.
And the soup and the curry are very, very similar, so you kind of get two recipes in one.
Okay, sounds good. So let's get started on the recipe because it is going to take some time. And as you're doing this, if you can also explain to us about the 4 flavors of Thai.
All Thai cuisine is based on balancing 4 flavors: the hot and spicy, the sweet, the sour, and the salty. So the spicy comes in this curry with the curry paste. So we have red or green. Which would you like?
Let's go for red.
Red. Okay, red's a little bit milder, so your co-workers will be very happy.
Yeah.
A little bit of red. What I've done here is I've already sauteed up the onion. So I'm going to put the green or the red curry in with that. That's going to just dissolve a little bit. That gives the heat and some of the Thai spices.
Okay.
And then for the base, you put in coconut milk. Now you notice, whoops, there we got the liquid.
So is this where the soupy comes?
This comes
from?
If you make Thai coconut soup, you'd use 2 tins of coconut milk. And if you want the curry, you use 1 tin of coconut milk.
Okay.
And then you don't put the paste in. But the coconut milk you can get at the grocery store, as you can with the curry paste. And so it doesn't take an awful lot of exotic ingredients to make this.
Okay, so it can be made relatively quickly and simple.
What I love about this is my go-to winter dish. It's ready by the time the rice is cooked.
Nice.
I put the rice on and then I start the curry, and by the time the rice is all ready to go, so is the curry.
So what kind of consistency are you going for here?
You're going for a creamy liquid.
Okay.
You don't want it to be watery, but you don't want it to be too pasty. So you can see here how it's flowing.
Right.
We're going to be adding, you want a little bit of liquid here because you're going to be adding vegetables and meat, and then the vegetables will cook in the liquid and the meat will simmer in it.
Okay, very
so
good.
I'm actually also going to add a 1/2 cup of water.
Okay.
And hopefully this will come up to the boil quickly. I'm used to gas, so it's pretty quick.
Nice and fast.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll cook the meat. We'll add the vegetables. You have all sorts of vegetables that you can add. And then at the very last, you add the sugar for the sweet, the lime for the sour, and the fish sauce for the salty.
Okay.
And you finish it off with a couple of vegetables.
Now you mentioned that you put some vegetables in it now. Do you do anything with the vegetables beforehand or just put
chop
them in
them
uncooked?
You just chop them up raw. And I'm putting in right here, these are kaffir lime leaves. You can get these at an Asian store. They freeze beautifully. This whole
I thought it was
tray.
basil, but
No,
obviously
that's
not.
kaffir lime.
Oh, I guess when you pick it up like this, you realize it's not basil.
That whole thing was $2. It's going to make a good dozen curries.
Oh.
The basil is here, and that is Thai. But if you don't have Thai basil, you can buy regular basil. All it's going to do is taste a little less like licorice.
Oh, okay.
So now we're just going to pretend this is
boiling
boiling away.
Right.
So do you want chicken or do you want beef? I brought
let's
both.
go for chicken today.
Chicken, okay.
You're such a great guest. You're giving me options here
I give
today.
you lots of options because I usually get you working.
Yeah,
so
it's
what
like
I'm
I'm
going
at
to
a
do
restaurant.
is I'm going to get you to grab the microplane and take a tiny bit of lime off for that.
And where do I put it? Just on the cutting board?
Yeah, just on the cutting board. We'll scoop it up. With the chicken,
I'm hoping this is the microplane.
That's the microplane. Perfect. Don't go too deep because the white pith is very bitter.
Okay.
So just a couple rubs and then turn it.
And then turn it. Okay.
It's beginning to boil. What I've done with the chicken is I've slivered it. I don't know whether you can see this, but it's not big bite-sized chunks. It's slivered. And that slivered chicken will cook in about 1/3 of the time that a chunk will. So that's one of the reasons I can get this on the table in the time that it takes to cook the rice.
Okay.
So that's about 1 pound of chicken. I've used white meat, you can use dark meat. And with the beef, I slivered the beef and it was a sirloin steak that I slivered up. You could have had steak.
Could have had steak, geez, look at that.
So this all cooks up. What you don't want to do is you don't want to boil the chicken or the beef because what that will do is it'll make it tough.
Oh, okay.
You just want to simmer it. And as they simmer, it'll get nice and moist and tender.
Okay, and then what do we do with our lime over here?
We'll just save that for a minute. We're going to make some, normally you would choose what vegetables, but I have pre-selected for you because we don't have that much time.
Okay, in the interest of time, can we just throw these in now?
Well, what you would do is you'd probably put the broccoli in first because it's going to take about 1 minute longer to cook than the red pepper.
Okay.
Stir that in. And it only takes about 2 or 3 minutes for this broccoli. I've cut it extra small. I don't want the big bites.
Okay.
So we'll get that in. We'll add the red pepper.
And you can see cooking this up, and then you said just let this simmer, and then is that it right there?
That's it until you're ready to serve, and then you would add about a tablespoon of fish sauce.
Okay.
Can you open that for me?
Absolutely.
I cannot do that.
And while you were getting that all finished up,
Yeah.
we can let everyone know that you can find this recipe and
recipe.
many others and some very entertaining stories and so much more by heading over to Charmian's blog. We have a link up under links and numbers on our website, swo.ctv.ca, and you can see pictures there of the finished product of this, and I'll be able to taste this and let you know just how great it tastes. We'll show you the final product at the end of the show too. Charmian, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
A pleasure as always.
You.
Time for a break. Ahead in sports with Randy. Brantford visits Elmira in Game 5 of their semifinal series.